The debate on video games being good or bad in a child's development process has been going on for years. Scientific studies showed that video games... Okay, stop. I'm not going to talk about scientific studies and what specialists think about video games. I think that a life story can be a valuable lesson. So instead I'm going to talk about my own experience with video games, how I think it affected my development, and why I think that video games can be a great tool for raising my children. I'm Max, I'm a 36 years old single dad. I have 2 kids, and when they are in my care, I'm doing my best to raise them to be smart, honest, kind and independent adults. Let me know down in the comments if you played video games or not as a child, and if you think that video games are good for children or just a waste of time. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video for what I think it was the key element in my development process. This is my first video on parenting, but not my last one, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I've had access to a computer from an early age. At 6 years old, my parents brought home a PC. It didn't have any games, so my first interaction with it was to write my very first words on a basic text editor. My first game ever was volley for 2 players. That took maybe 20 minutes of my life. But before we knew it, me and my brother would play more demanding games like Prehistoric and Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia had 5 buttons to control a prince in his adventures to save the princess. Those games taught me patience, as we would take turns trying to complete the levels, pattern recognition in fighting the bad guys that had specific sequences on attacking, and hand-eye coordination on attacking and jumping at the right moment. I have a memory from around that time that always stuck with me. I had a bad dream and I couldn't sleep, so my father and I stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing mahjong. Besides the fact that the game trains your brain, it was a great bonding experience that I will always remember. I think I was around 12 years old when we got access to more complex strategy games like Dune, Warcraft and Heroes 2. Heroes of the Might and Magic 2, it's a turn-based strategy game that can be played by multiple players at the same computer. We would gather up with my cousins for a weekend and play for hours, and because it was a turn-based game, we would also bond in social interactions like talking, telling jokes, stories and playing side games. That game brought us even more closer, and we still have a great relationship till this day. It also taught me strategy, resource management and multitasking. Even though I did not enjoy reading books as a child, I would play a lot of point-and-click adventure games like Monkey Island, Simon the Sorcerer and King's Quest. Those are interactive puzzle-solving stories that demand a lot of reading, retaining information, decision-making and can increase your attention span. Also, if you are not a native English speaker like me, adventure games in particular can be great language learning tools, because if you don't understand, then it's impossible to play. And as I said before, we can learn life lessons from stories, ethics, empathy, social behavior, problem-solving strategies and much more. I was not a social kid in school, and my gaming passion helped me find a common ground with other kids that also loved video games, exchanging games, talking about games, meeting up for gameplay. Video games also created a bond between me and my brother. Even though we have 2 completely different personalities and social skills, we never stopped playing and we still talk from time to time about games we play and share opinions. This is a good topic of discussion and brings us together even though he moved to another country. One important thing, even though we've spent thousands of hours playing video games in front of the computer, we don't wear glasses, we don't have anger management issues or posture problems. We still have lots of fun doing outdoor activities, and both of us have finished all stages of school from primary school to university. But most of all, our professional careers evolved around computers and gaming in one way or another. While my brother became a successful programmer in a large multinational corporation, starting from the gaming passion and desire of creating his own games, I developed a more artistic and creative personality, which led me to web and logo design, later on prototyping and automation, which involves microcontroller programming, and now starting a new path as a YouTube creator for you guys. We love outdoor activities as much as we love video games. Aside from the childhood games like catch or hide and seek, we engage in loads of activities. Hiking, rock climbing, camping, snowboarding, we both are motorcycle riders. He enjoys bike riding while I'm preparing to be a paraglider pilot. We also like to meet up once a year and go mountaineering with our kids. Up until now I've played games on my PC, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Wii and Xbox 360. Right now I have an Xbox 360, my brother has a PlayStation 4 and a Nintendo Switch that we both share and play alongside our children. My children also enjoy playing video games on PlayStation 3 that they have at their mother's. Throughout my life experience, I came to the conclusion that video gameplay can be a good learning tool in the development process of children if used correctly and in the right amount. And so I developed some strategies that I use with video games to teach my kids life lessons and skills. But I will leave that for another video. As I promised at the beginning of the video, I'm going to tell you what I believe to be the key element in my development process as far as video games are concerned. And those key elements, as they are two, are my mother and my father. They managed to find the right balance between playing video games, outdoor activities and school time. They established rules and boundaries, they supported what we love to do, but also guided us in the right direction whenever we were going on a wrong path. And I'm not saying I turned out great or not, that video games are good or bad, as I think they also can do a lot of harm if managed poorly. All I'm saying is that I'm satisfied with the way things turned out so far, that video games inspired me to be who I am today, and I would never exchange what my parents gave me for anything else. Thank you for watching, and remember, Albert Einstein said, "Play is the highest form of research."